1991 Toyota Hilux Surf. This is the diesel manual version. Start by having a look at the bodywork. If you look down this driver's side, you will see it is nice and straight all the way down. It's not full of ripples or dents or anything like that. Not full of filler. Looking at this driver's front wing, it's all nice and clean. We've got a very light hairline scratch along the paintwork there. But the arch itself's lovely and clean. Inside the arch is all nice and tidy. It's on GT radial tyres all round. It's a really good tyre, quite a popular tyre choice for this kind of car. Coming down this driver's side, obviously you've got these fitted side steps, which if they can take my weight, are going to support just about anything. If they can lift a fat lad, they'll be all right. Lovely and clean underneath, as you can see. Underneath the steps and everything, it's not rotten or anything like that. Well, the driver's door, we've got a little dent just at the top here. A couple of little scratches around this area. And there's a little bubble of rust just at the bottom of the door. But again, sort of a 1990s Japanese import 4x4. They do suffer with bodywork here and there. This one's actually overall pretty good. Little bleb at the bottom corner of the rear driver's door. Little hairline scratches there. Rear arch, and in there, as you can see, is lovely and clean and tidy. See that chassis from there as well, that's really good. Another good wheel and tyre, all nice and clean around there. Little bubble of rust just starting to come through there, and another one at the bottom there. But again, if you look up this side again, it is nice and straight. It's a presentable thing from sort of 5 foot. You've got to get right on top of it to start noticing these things. Around this rear area, sort of pillar area, that's all nice and clean. Around the windows all the way up this side are all good. Coming down onto this rear sort of chrome bumper, you've got some corrosion coming through on the bottom there, and a little bit in the corner, as you can see. And then there's a dent that's rusted through on the corner itself there. Tail lights on both sides are nice and bright and clear. There's no cracks or any moisture in those. Same sort of situation on this side, but a bit worse. The rust in the bumper, in the lower half. A couple of little spots on the back itself there, on both sides. A matching 5th spare wheel with another all-terrain tyre. A few scratches, and the paint's chipped off and sort of oxidised a little bit on the leading edge of the window there, as you can see. So you've got this big swing arm for the tyre. It's lovely and solid. There's no play in that at all. Behind the wheel is lovely and clean as well. I'll show you inside the boot and things in a second. Coming up this passenger side, same story as the other side, lovely and straight all the way up. I've pointed that little bit of corrosion coming through the bumper there. Inside this arch, again, lovely and clean and tidy. The chassis is what looks to be very good. Have a good look from underneath here as well, actually. You can see usual little bit of surface rust here and there, but the chassis looks to be nice and solid. It doesn't look like it's covered in patches or anything like that. Another good wheel and tyre. It's a little ding just here on that rear quarter. It's clipped something on the arch where it's chipped the paint. Rear passenger door, bit of rust coming through on the bottom there. A tiny little bit just starting on the front passenger door. And a couple of little sort of stone chips and scratches here and there. Exactly what you'd expect from this sort of age car. Front passenger arch, again, lovely and clean and tidy in there. The chassis you can see from there, really good. Another good wheel and tyre on the front passenger side. Coming round onto the front, chrome bumper on the front is fared a lot better than the back. Tiny little mark just there. A tiny little bit of pitting on the top. Most of that looks like it would clean off, but the rest of it's all good. The bonnet has some stone chips, as you'd imagine. And a couple of little marks here and there. But it is nice and straight. It's not covered in ripples or dents or anything like that. And then the scuttle on the bottom of the windscreen, that's all good as well. And then the roof itself, nice and straight. It's got a mark here, another one there where it's had a roof rack, which I believe is in the boot. On the interior, nice clean driver's door card. Spec on these is pretty good. Electric windows, electric mirrors. It does have the immobilizer fitted, which works. I'll show you in a second. It has the hard and soft suspension options. Electric rear window, which you need to sort of open the boot. It's got a JVZ stereo in there. Obviously high and low and all the usual Hilux spec off-road stuff. Driver's seat, we've got a little burn hole just, or a little hole just there. And the seam is split on the top and bottom bolsters. Rest of the cloth all nice and clean. Steering wheel's really good as far as wear goes. as is the top of the dash. Showing 119,000 now. I believe that's miles, but check the description, we'll detail what we know about that in there. On the center console section, that's all good. Headlining's lovely and clean, there's no funny smells in here. The carpet's not ingrained with dirt or anything like that. Little chip in the vinyl just on the door card in the rear there. The rear bench is lovely and clean and tidy. The backs of the seats are good. There's no real sign of any wear at all on those. Have another look at the headliner from here as well. There is a bit of a hole in the headliner there where somebody's been putting the boot and caught it. Now, the way you open the boot on these things, you remove the rear wheel, and then you have a switch inside to drop the rear glass. So you turn your ignition on, button down the bottom here, that drops the window, which you can see going down there. Like that. You can drive with it open as well if you want. Quite nice in the summer, I would imagine. You then have this handle on the inside, which you unlock like that. That drops your tailgate. You can get into the boot. You've got another spare wheel in here. There's that fuel roof rack that I told you about, or roof bars. Got a load liner and then the carpet underneath, all nice and clean. And then to put it back up, you just shut that. And that locks your wheel back in place, nice and easy. Coming round onto the passenger side again, nice and clean on that door card. This rear seats are lovely and clean, as are the backs. The carpet in here, I know it is dark on the camera, but it is very clean in there. And then into the front passenger side again, nice and clean on the door card. And this seat is worn really well, lovely and clean on both bolsters. All nice and tidy, lovely and firm, really comfy as well, these things. Have a look under the bonnet. So like I say, it's the 2.4 litre manual diesel. This one's come from the Scottish borders, about 80 miles north of us. It was driven down this morning. Started straight away when it got here, when it was warm. I've then let it get cold before we've done the video, and it's started straight away again, no problem at all. You have to excuse the dodgy camera work a second while we work out this bonnet latch. It's obvious when you know how. And then in here, as you can see, really nice and clean. No sign of any corrosion coming through on that inner wing on the driver's side. And then from what you can see on the passenger side, again, nice and clean and tidy. Let's say 2.4 litre turbo diesel, so it's got plenty of poke. Not like some of these early 90s ones without the turbos that are super, super slow. We'll get it started up. Like I said, it does have an immobiliser fitted. So it's just a case of put the immobiliser into the receiver. It helps if you have it the right way up, like that. That light will go out. Key in the ignition. There you go, it fires straight up. No warning lights other than one for no seatbelt. No sign of any nasty smoke flying out the back there, as you can see. Everything sounds as it should under there. So there you have it. Toyota Hilux Surf 2.4 litre turbo diesel manual. If you've got any questions, please get in touch. Thank you.